Greetings and hello from the Randolph County School System. My name is Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer. We're here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey, and this is our first from the desk of interview since school started back on August the 28th. We are actually here at Farmer Elementary School. As you know, we are venturing out away from the office and out into the schools for our monthly interviews, and we're here at Farmer Elementary. We have a new principal here, Nathan Gray. He and his staff are kind enough to host us this afternoon. Dr. Gainey, just give you a moment to talk about this fine school.
Well, Tim, Farmer Elementary School is a great school. It opened in 1992, sits in a great community. This community is very proud of this school. The facility is beautiful. I mean, here you are, it's opened in 92, and look at this school. It looks brand new still. Tremendous teaching staff. This is my 5th year here. In the first 4 years I was here, we had Ross Reeves as the principal, and he has moved to Grace Chapel Elementary, and we've replaced him now with Nathan Gray in his first year as principal. He came to us from Cabarrus County, and what's exciting is you always want somebody who, when you're filling openings, you want people who actually are seeking out those openings. And Ross, when Ross left and we posted the job, Nathan Gray saw Farmer posted and was very excited to get a chance to interview and was very excited to be here. So look forward to great things continuing at Farmer Elementary School. But it sits in a great community, a lot of community support here, and just a great staff. So excited to be here today, and hopefully you'll get the people watching this video will see some parts of what's a very beautiful school. It's been well maintained.
Well, we are less than a month into our new school year. Thought I would just give you an opportunity, Dr. Gainey. We'll just open it up and let you talk a little bit about these first few weeks of school.
Well, Tim, we've had a great start. This is our 4th week. It's been a very smooth opening, and you know, you have to say that the parents help us a great deal, as does the staff, when we open school and all throughout the year. You know, I joke with principals all the time, we get to have school a lot. We don't have a lot of interruptions in the school system, and that's a tribute to our very supportive communities around our schools and our staff and what they do in school every day. But August 28th was the first day of school, and it went very well. You know, after 2 months of not having buses on the road, we put 166 buses back on the road, and we put a bunch of student drivers back going to the high schools, a bunch of parent drivers, and everybody worked together and made it a smooth opening, and just looking forward to an exciting year. But again, I can't stress enough how much I appreciate the support we get from the community, because we have a lot of great days in our school system with very minimal interruptions. And that's what I say to the principals. We get to have school, you know, a regular school day for the majority of our school days during the school year. And that's something I highly value, and I think our staff does too and appreciates, because the parents and the communities play a big role in that.
Okay, so Dr. Gainey, we had our September Board of Education meeting this past Monday, the 18th. And this was our first board meeting for the new school year, in which we brought back our Star 3 student recognitions, also our Star employee recognitions. Those are such exciting times. And then we also had a special recognition of our Principal of the Year. So I'll give you an opportunity to talk about those special honors.
Well, Tim, we did start back with our recognitions. They start in September every year. So with Star 3, we'll recognize on 3 different occasions a child from every school. So end of the year, we will recognize 93 students system-wide for Star 3 for just, you know, it can be anything from academic performance, great character, you know, great sportsmanship, just, you know, there's many different things, and we leave that wide open to the schools to decide who they select. And then we started a new program last year, which was the Star Employee Program, and so we'll recognize 2 staff members from each school over the course of a year. And it's been a great program. Again, the staff determines who they want to be honored. And speaking of Star 3, our sponsor for now, it's going on, this is our 5th year. It'll be the Courier Tribune. They provide the funding for the plaques each child gets. And then also for the Star Employee Award, Vicki Gallimore has provided the funding and support for those plaques. So that's an exciting time. And then, so, you know, the summertime's always different. It's different in the schools because the students are not here in the schools, but it's different for us in the board meetings because we don't have the recognitions like we do during the regular year, and that's always exciting at the board meetings. We recognized a very special employee that night, and that employee was April Thompson. And like the Star employee, she's a star as a principal, and she was selected as our 2017-2018 Principal of the Year, and April's in her 3rd year at the early college. The early college continues to increase its performance every year, and April she's a great principal and a great employee, and it was just fun to see her smile, as also see the students come up and be recognized, and the excitement in their eyes, and the employees and the star employee time. I wanted to mention two other groups that we recognized that night as well. Energizer, I think you gave the number that when we started the official count back in, was it
2009?
2009, you have an official record of 200,000 batteries they've donated to our school system, and people tell us they've been donating to our school system for years before then. So we recognized Energizer, and then we also recognized some leaders from Books A Million, who every year do a book drive on our behalf. So, you know, we do a lot of things in board meetings, but one of the things that's, to me, one of the most important things we do is recognize, you know, our community partners and our students and our employees who have done great work. And so that was an exciting part of the board meeting, and it kicks off what happens over the next 10 months for us. So every board meeting, as you know, we're going to recognize 10 or 11 students and 10 or 11 employees. So that'll be exciting throughout the year.
So Dr. Gainey, earlier this month the state released school performance grades, and with that comes a lot of data, a lot of information. Can be a bit overwhelming to try to sift through all that. So thought I would give you an opportunity just to talk a little bit about the data, maybe some highlights, and just sort of wrap it all up and give us an overview of what that report means to us.
Well, Tim, one of the things that we've talked about for the last 4 years headed into year 5 is try to improve from where you are as a school, and I'm very excited when I look at what's happened with the schools and their performance from last year. It very much indicates that schools are getting better academically and have been over the last 4 years. You know, when you talk about the letter grades that came out the beginning of the week, the first week of September, you know, hadn't had a lot of change. We had, you know, 2 years in a row we've had an A+ school. We had six B schools this year, 6 B schools last year, 21 C schools this past year, 20 the year before. So you're not seeing a lot of change. Happy that our number of low performance schools continues to go down. The first year they identified low performance schools, we had 5. The second year we had 4. This past year we had 3. So I feel like we're getting better. Some things that do stand out to me, though, is if you look at it the last 4 years, all of our schools have moved their performance composite forward, and the smallest movement forward is 5.7 points, which is a great amount, in my opinion. I mean, it's moving forward, you know. But when you look at 4 years, we have looked back, and 26 of our 31 schools have moved their composites forward by more than 10 points. And of those 26 schools, 7 of them moved their composite forward by more than 20 points in those 4 years, the last 4 years. Now, what's composite? That's not the school grade. That's the percentage of students at or above level 3 on the end of course or end of grade test. Very excited about that. Our number of schools making growth, expected growth or exceeding growth, has increased every year. It went to 25 out of 31 schools this year. The year before it was 23 out of 31. So we're continuing to get better there. Just really excited about what the staff members, the teachers, and the principals are doing at each level. But you know, when I kind of look back at what's happening big picture, and I look and see that every school has moved their composite forward by no less than 5.7 points. In every school in the system over the last 4 years. That makes me feel really good. And you know, our school system's composite, you know, 4 years ago was 41.7%, and now it's 56.1%. That's to me, that shows a lot of staff members working in the same direction to help schools improve. And so I can't say it enough how much I appreciate the teachers and the principals and all the staff, the counselors, the support staff at the schools, central service staff, and we can't forget the community members and the parents, because they help a great deal too, making sure the kids come to school ready to learn every day. So excited about where the school system's headed. We have a lot of room for improvement, but I've stressed to the principals, I'm not concerned about this school system, this one, all around us. I'm concerned about the Randolph County School System and where we were today and where we will be tomorrow and where we'll be the next day. Are we working to get better? And you know, there may be a point where we work to get better and we may have to take on that part, you know, to move the needle forward and minimize backward movement. We'll minimize backward movement. We may have to use that part and keep from having too much, and if we do, we will. But staff members all over the school system are trying hard to help kids, and that's what it's all about.
Right. Well, and certainly the empirical data is important, as you've addressed. but there's also those things that don't really show up in data, things like relationships and school culture. Can you talk a little bit about what the numbers don't say?
Well, I can tell you as superintendent, what's exciting to me is we have 31 schools, and I know how I was as a principal, and I love my staff. I got to know my staff, but what the staff members all over the school system have done is they have created relationships among themselves, between them and central service, between school level and central service, and it's just exciting to me because when that happens, then there's going to be that extra care for children too, and nurturing and providing that positive culture. And I just believe, are there school systems with great people in their schools? Yes, there are. There's a lot of school systems, but I wouldn't trade any of our staff members for anybody else's, because what I see here when I visit schools in all 31 schools is just great culture, great relationships with kids and between staff members and parents, and everything's not perfect, but we're not perfect every day, and we understand that, we accept that, but I think there's a lot of care and a lot of effort taken by staff members throughout the Randolph County School System to take care of every single child in our school system, and to that I say a big thank you to our staff, because they deserve a lot of credit for what is going on in this system, and it's had a foundation, a long-standing history of a very successful foundation, and hopefully we can keep building on it as we move to the future.
So let's talk about Pathways to Prosperity. It's an initiative that we rolled out a few years ago, a partnership with Asheboro City Schools and also Randolph Community College. And I know there's some news on that front, so would you take an opportunity to share that?
Well, Tim, we have had two programs already that we've released, and one was several years ago, and it was focused on advanced manufacturing. And then we came back a couple of years later and had one on health sciences. And what it is it kind of connects the two public school systems with Randolph Community College and gives children a chance to work, start with us and start gaining college credits at the community college and work towards that associate's degree. It's been very exciting to see those two programs develop, and it's been about a year or so now since we released the health sciences plan, so we're beginning to work on another one. And when you do these plans, you have to have, it's kind of a three-way partnership, and we have to have a higher education partner, which is Randolph Community College. And Asheboro City Schools has always been a very good partner for us, and we work well with them. And so we're getting ready to work on a new pathway, and the focus of it's going to be agriculture. And looking forward to that as we reach out to the agricultural community and bring in stakeholders, and we'll have meetings we'll plan out what needs to be in this pathway, what the kids need to move through it, and the different experiences, different courses, and it's just going to be exciting to see that big industry be involved in this pathway. So in the next couple months, we'll start our work and hopefully release the final plan for the agricultural pathway to prosperity. Hopefully April of 2018, we'll have it ready. And but did tell the board the other night as a kind of a heads up to let them know what was coming, and both school systems are excited, as is the community college. So looking forward to working with Dr. Worrell, Superintendent of Asheboro City Schools, and Bob Shackelford, the President of Randolph Community College.
Well, as we said earlier, we are coming up on our first month of school for the 2017-2018 school year. Dr. Gainey, I know you spent a lot of time in and out of schools over these first few weeks. What are you seeing?
Well, it just seems like every year when we come back, and it takes very little time for the students to be back in routine. And it looks like we've been in school for 3 or 4 months when you see what the teachers do and staff does. You walk into school and you have so many staff members that are working to help children, whether they're in the front office staff, they're in a support role in classrooms, or classroom teacher, counselor, media specialist we saw today. It's just very exciting to see how quickly they get the students in routine and get focused on what is going to happen for the next 10 months. So very proud of that. I know I'm biased, but I think the kids get a really good deal in the school system, and it's because they walk into classrooms with very talented staff members ready to help them. And you mentioned earlier in the video, it goes beyond the academic piece. There are relationships are built, there are support structures in place, and it's just exciting to watch. I've been in about 26 schools in the first few weeks of the school year, and again, if I didn't know it was the third week, beginning of the 4th week of school, nothing I see when I go in makes it seem that way. It's just, I know it is because the school year just started. And so I want to say a big thank you to our teachers and to our other staff members, and also to the parents and community members, because this doesn't happen, this whole process of school doesn't happen without a strong community out there helping a school or helping a school system. So the parents play a big role, and they're greatly appreciated as well.
Well, thank you, Dr. Gainey, and thank you to Principal Nathan Gray and his fine staff here at Farmer Elementary School for opening their doors to us today, and thank you to Randolph Communications. And we have welcomed this opportunity, as we do each month, to share with you the great things that are going on in the Randolph County School System, and we will see you in October.